Hello, welcome back to the channel. A few days ago, I put out a poll on the community channel at Good Old Tech asking, what are you willing to compromise to get the best experience? So we're going to cover those real quickly. And if you haven't had a chance to vote on that poll, go ahead and go to the community page in YouTube. All you got to do is click on the channel for Good Old Tech and then select community, and you'll see the poll down there. And you're welcome to vote. So what do I mean by compromise? As you can see here, you got the OnePlus Open with the big old camera bump and large cameras versus the Samsung, which is very streamlined and it looks very sleek. It's also got the 3 cameras. But what are you compromising for the different cameras? Are you willing to compromising look for better quality photos? Is wireless charging important to you? Because on the OnePlus, you don't get wireless charging where you do on the Samsung. And then there's a matter of service. Are you willing to compromise? Those are the questions I asked. We'll go over each category and we'll talk about the differences. So the first question was outer screen. The narrow small screen is better one-handed. So some are saying when you're using the Samsung one-handed, it's easier to maneuver the smaller narrow screen. But I say if you're using it one-handed, you still have to shuffle up to get further. Or of course you can do the swipe down or bring it down and then you can reach across. But guess what? You can do the same thing on the OnePlus Open. If you're using it one-handed, you could just bring the screen down to make it accessible. So the narrow screen for that purpose, in my view, doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, guess what? 21% are saying they're willing to sacrifice the smaller screen to get a better experience. So that means 21% do kind of agree with me. Now, if you go back and you read these questions and think they're worded weird and you misunderstand them, let me know down in the comments, because that may be the case. Now, the next one is battery capacity. As long as it lasts a full day, you're fine. So in other words, you do get a larger battery and better performance on the OnePlus Open than you do the Samsung, because the battery is a little bit larger. And I don't know why this is, but the phone seems to be optimized a little better than Samsung, so the battery is lasting longer. So battery capacity, only 7% say they're willing to compromise battery for better performance. Wireless charging, 57% say they can compromise wireless charging. So in other words, that tells me that 50% of the folks want better performance versus wireless charging. Now, why does that not matter to us people that have the OnePlus? Because it charges so fast. It comes with a 67-watt charger, and it will fully charge from 0 in 30 minutes. That is fast. Whereas in 30 minutes, you're lucky to get 50% on the Samsung. And if you stick it on a wireless charger, after 30 minutes, you might have 25%, because wireless charging is pretty slow. But if you never have to worry about charging your phone during the day because the battery lasts, then it might be a moot point, and you just put it on the wireless charger at night. No issues there. Now, we did ask about service availability, and I said repaired in the end. That's all that matters. It got 0. People are willing to compromise service availability, which is interesting. So if that's the case, then you have to go with the Samsung Z Fold, is what some may be thinking, so you can get service. However, if you look at this other video, you'll find that you get service on the OnePlus Open as well, depending on how you purchase it and whether you get additional warranty. Just real quickly, this model I happened to buy on eBay. I bought it as a pre-owned device, so I can get it for half off. And it came automatically with 1-year warranty through Allstate, which covers breaking and issues with the phone for a full year. And when you read the Allstate agreement, it says if it's under manufacturer warranty, they will still utilize that to help repair your device. That's all done by Allstate. So in my view, you're not really compromising warranty by getting the OnePlus Open if you buy it renewed. I personally have never had to use warranty service with OnePlus or Samsung, so I can't really give you the full scoop on that. Maybe someone can down in the comments. Feel free to let us know what your experience is with warranty services. Now, the last part of that, and I saved this to last for a reason, it's well known in the Z Fold series, they don't put the flagship cameras. As a matter of fact, they put the same cameras as the previous year's model on your standard S-series phone. And as far as Samsung goes, they've been putting the same cameras on the Z Fold for the last 4 models, maybe all 5 models. I don't know. I didn't have the 1 series or the 2. But I tell you, for the last 3 years, I know they've been putting the same camera, and apparently they're going to put the same cameras on the Z Fold 6. So they're not quite meeting the flagship phone standards. And what I mean by flagship phone, well, you've got the S24 series, which actually has the same cameras, but maybe a little bit better integration with software, but that's only because it has the newer chip than the Z Fold. So when the Z Fold 6 comes out, it's going to have the newer Gen 3 chip, so it might be now up to the par as the S24 series phones, but not up to par as the Ultra phone. As we know, the Ultra S24, even the Ultra S23 has better features and better cameras than what you're going to find on the Z Fold. The Z Fold, as I mentioned before, has the 50 megapixel main shooter, and it has a 12 megapixel ultra wide and only a 10 megapixel 3x zoom. That's pretty low when you compare it to the OnePlus Open. The OnePlus Open has the higher end cameras. It has a 48 megapixel main shooter as well as a 48 megapixel ultra wide and a 64 megapixel 3x zoom. Now, what would you rather have? 64 megapixel or 10 megapixel in your zoom? Just with the specs alone, you know that they are putting better cameras, more flagship type cameras in the OnePlus Open. So are you willing to just compromise the better cameras for just a more streamlined look or operating system? That's up to you. But according to the vote, only 14% are willing to compromise the cameras for a better overall experience. Now, again, I just want to reiterate, the way I worded this survey may be kind of wonky. This is my first survey. Maybe someone else can come up with a better way to word this, a better way to throw this survey out there, and maybe I can really promote it more. So let me know down in the comments. Again, I know there's a better way to do a survey like this, and it only allows you to use one category as an answer. So in summary, this is what I've gathered from the survey, and you can correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. Most people want good service available immediately for the device, which leads us towards the Samsung, since you can actually take it to a service center. But I think most of us still have to mail it in, which kind of evens things out. So for that, most people will need to steer towards the Z Fold 5. Then the second category is most people don't want to compromise their battery. They want the device to last all day long without compromise. Well, that would steer you towards the OnePlus Open. So now we're even, 1 for 1. Then we go to wireless charging. 57% could care less about wireless charging. That's another mark for the OnePlus Open. And then there's the one-handed use, the outer screen being smaller. 21% say they're willing to compromise a smaller screen for better performance. Well, that's a small number. So if you're not willing to compromise having this one-handed smaller screen use on the Z Fold, well, that would steer you towards the Z Fold. So that's another mark for the Z Fold. Now we're even, that's 2 to 2. And now we move on to camera. The camera usage, 14% say they're willing to compromise the flagship cameras to have better performance. Well, again, that kind of leads you towards the Samsung Z Fold. If you're not worried about the cameras being flagship, only 14% of you want that, well, Z Fold gets another mark. So as according to this poll, most people should steer towards the Z Fold 5. But then again, I may have worded this poll kind of wonky, so let me know down in the comments, because for me, I prefer the OnePlus and all its features. So I leave it to you. What do you think? Go ahead and let me know down in the comments. Do you prefer the OnePlus Open, don't worry about the survey, over the Z Fold 5 or the Z Fold 6? What features are important to you if I left that out in the poll? I want to hear from you. Also, if there's any comparison you want to see between the two, let me know that as well, and I'll put that in another video. I hope you found this video useful or informative. If so, please make sure to smash that like button down below. And while you're there, leave the comment. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more great content from Good Old Tech. Thanks for hanging out with me. Until next time, God bless.